Watch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a hurricane edition of the JP Peterson Show here on this Tuesday, October 8th, as we're coming to you live from our Winter Garden studio, high and dry, and IndyCar Tim is in our Dallas studio, high and probably high and dry. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning to you, my friend.
Not really high. Maybe might have had one cocktail too many this morning already. Though.
No morning bake.
No,
Okay.
I don't. I'm not a wake and bake guy, but
No,
I do.
okay.
I do enjoy me a good mimosa or poinsettia first thing in the morning. So.
What's a poinsettia?
It's a mimosa, but instead of orange juice, you use cranberry juice.
Oh, you use cranberry juice instead of okay.
So it's cranberry juice and champagne. Yeah.
Ashley's yelling at me that you don't know what a poinsettia is. I'm like, yeah, to decorate for Christmas. You know, yeah, you drink them. They're like champagne and cranberry. Tim says. Okay, all right, she's in.
She
It
thought
has
we were talking
champagne.
about flowers, didn't
She's
she?
in. If it's champagne, she's in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we jest because we must. It's a very somber and serious time in the Tampa Bay area as Milton bears down on what appears to be the most feared and long feared landfall, and that is directly up into Tampa Bay. Even worse than what we experienced in Helene, which is horrific. And we're talking about 10 to 15 foot surges up into the bay. And this is not a drill. This is the big one that we have feared for a long, long time. It is, it's not normal. It's borderline unnatural. What's going on with this storm? It intensifies from a 2 to 5 in a matter of hours, something we've never seen before. It's just, there's a lot of unknown here. And when there's unknown, the best idea is to get the hell out. And I would hope that most of my brethren in Tampa Bay are heeding those evacuations. The mayor coming out with a very stark warning for her residents of the city. If you don't evacuate, A and B, you will die. Seems a little bit much, but we get the point,
you
Mayor.
Be too careful there, yeah.
Yeah, we get the point there. Now, I'm about to say something that needs to be listened to by adults, okay? By adults. We'll put our big boy pants on, and I want you to listen to this because accurate information is the most important information. And we don't want to overhype this thing, but I've been doing obviously a lot of research into this and listening to a lot of different meteorologists, and many of them are saying that this storm should weaken as it approaches Tampa Bay. Now, that does not mean for you to put your guard down in any way, but obviously evacuating these storm sites is a very, very tough decision. Even for myself, 90 miles inland at this point, you know, I have to kind of look at this and see what are the permutations and what is the upside, what is the downside. As I teach my kids all the time, look at the upside, look at the downside of any decision you make. Okay. What is the downside? Well, I think we know what that is. Okay. And it's serious. Obviously we saw, and I keep saying to Ashley, the people in Asheville certainly thought they were safe. You just never know with Mother Nature. You just never know, especially these days. So my best advice is you better have some alternate plans. So if things do go south and you're staying, have a plan. Have an inflatable boat. Have plenty of ways to get out if you need to. If you have a high vehicle and you know when you have to leave, because I understand that if once you leave, your home is unprotected. There are obviously things that you can do during a storm that can help preserve your home, and this is why it's so hard for people, because they don't let people back in a timely fashion. And so many people said that about Helene. We would have left, but we know if we leave, we can't get back in. And that was the case. And meanwhile, your house is sitting there, mold is growing, and you're losing things by the minute. So it's a very, very tough decision. And I understand that, and we all understand it. But life cannot be replaced. Everything else can. Life cannot. So if you're going to stay, have a good plan if it goes completely south. Okay? Know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and when you're going to go. And understand the ramifications of that. That the roads may not be clear. Okay? Anticipate the worst. There may be traffic. There may be no gas. We have people leaving their homes without full tanks of gas or even full tanks of gas getting caught in traffic and now are standing by the side of the road without any gas and no way to get it. That's a bad plan. That's a very bad plan. Let's be better than that. Okay? And remember, folks, Google Maps, 75, 275, I-4 are not the only roads on the planet. There are many other roads. Do your research, look at the traffic patterns, and stay off the major highways if you're going to evacuate. And you still have time to evacuate. I know there have been a lot of pictures about I-75, and look at your Google Maps. There are plenty of roads that are open to head north. Stay off the main thoroughfares. You'll be better off. The weather's fine today. It'll be fine most of tomorrow. But if you're going to go, today's the time to go. You can travel at night. Tonight is not a bad time to go. The roads will be less impacted, and there'll probably hopefully be more gas out there. And you can find out where they have gas. How you check the stations far north. How long is it going to take me to get to Lake City? Is there gas in Valdosta? Don't forget about heading south. Miami is a good option at this point. It's a very good option. It's out of the storm. They've got gas. They've got hotels. They've got everything. People aren't thinking about Miami. Miami and South Florida is a very good option at this point. They should not be affected by this storm. So, and traffic is probably much lighter heading south. So remember that as an option. So there's a lot of things to do here, but just be smart, people. Fill up your tubs with water. Anticipate being without power for at least 2 weeks. This one is going to take out a ton of infrastructure. So, and even if you're far inland, make sure that you have enough provisions for about 2 weeks. Fill up your bathtub, fill up your washing machine with water for flushing toilets. If you have big trash cans, fill those up with water as well. Not for drinking, but you can use it for flushing the toilet and some other things like that. So just over prepare, get as many, make as many ice bags as you can to put into your cooler. If you have an extra fridge, run it all day today in the freezer and keep things as cold as possible, and ice as much ice as you can to keep in your cooler. Make sure you have enough non-perishable. Make sure you have propane in your tank for cooking. All these things, you still have time to do it today, and understand that the lights aren't going to be off on tomorrow. Okay. They're not going to be on by the weekend, probably in a lot of different spots. So be prepared. And, it doesn't, you don't have to go buy food for a year. Okay. A couple of weeks should do it. If you can get some extra gas, have it on hand. If you have a car, move it to higher ground. For God's sakes, move your cars to higher ground. All the parking garages have been opened. They're not charging in downtown Tampa, so you can find parking garages or higher ground to put your cars, then Uber back home if you have to. So, yeah, don't be leaving your cars in low-lying areas. They're not going to be any good to you after the storm anyway. So if you have an inflatable boat, that would be better. So take it seriously, but understand that, it's probably, and we don't know this, obviously, so keep an eye on the storm, but hopefully it's going to be about 110 when it hits 120, and it will rapidly decrease as it moves inland. Yeah.
I haven't heard that low. I've heard 140 to 135.
Yeah, it's 140 right now, but when it hits, I've seen many meteorologists, and they're trying to, they're going to tell you on the high side, right? They're going to, which is good, because most people aren't, adult enough for these conversations. But if you want the real information and you can handle it and know what to do, but be smart, just have options available to you. I've already set up options of places to stay up north if we need to go. I don't think we need to go at this point. And I also want to be available to help other people and have our place for people to come to, if it gets really, really bad, and I anticipate it will. So I want to, I'm keeping that in mind as well. As there's obviously friends of mine that if they, if they're hunkering down, and if they can't stay and you're not going to be able to find a hotel at this point, they'll have a refuge to come stay. So, and I would, say to everyone, if you're able to offer up, places to stay, because a lot of time people won't leave because they don't have a place to go, right? They don't think they have a place to go. So text all your friends that that are in these places and say, hey, if you need a place, don't be afraid to ask. Just come here. You're not staying for a month, but you can come. You can
maybe clear that up before the trip.
Don't bring any cats. We don't have room for cats. We have dog eating cats. So you don't, we're cat eating dogs is what we have. So you don't bring me your cats. But otherwise, everything else is fine. So anyway, we're praying for you guys. Stay safe, and be smart. Be smart. Think it through. Be prepared. Have a plan. Think ahead of time what the scenarios can be. If the house gets flooded up to the roof, what are we doing? Right? If it gets here, have a plan. All right. Okay.
JP, we do have breaking sports news while you were on your Milton rant. The Jets have fired Robert Saleh per Adam Schefter.
The Jets or Aaron Rodgers?
Aren't they one and the same?
Aaron Rodgers has fired Robert Saleh. It didn't take long.
Isn't he the LeBron James of the NFL?
Pretty much. I mean, wow. Does that shock anyone? I'm
shocked it didn't happen before now, to be quite honest.
I like Robert Saleh. I always thought he would be a really, really good head coach. I think it's really hard to win in New York. I think it's really hard. It's really hard to win.
It's hard to win for the Jets.
Yeah. I mean, they just make so many bad decisions on so many levels. That's not a shock.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm surprised he survived last season, to be honest. I know it's because Rodgers was hurt. I cannot imagine Robert Saleh was Aaron Rodgers' first choice to go play as a head coach.
They make so many dumb moves, though. They just, between drafting and what they did with acquiring the defensive end. Brain farting on his.
The guy that's not playing.
Yes.
But that's not him. Salah's not the GM.
I know. But I mean, it's why I say it's hard. It's hard for anybody to win because the organization is just so bad. Okay, we also have some more breaking news here. USF has just announced that the Memphis game has been rescheduled to Saturday. Game moved to 3:30 kickoff Saturday at Raymond James Stadium. So it was supposed to be Friday night, and now it's been rescheduled to October 12th at 3:30. After the storm has passed, the release says the conference and teams will assess the conditions and overall situation to determine if any further adjustments are necessary. I mean, clearly they could play on Sunday as well. So there's options because the Bucs are not playing. I don't know if there's any concerts or anything. I know they just have Morgan Wallen, but at this point they're rescheduling for Saturday at 3:30. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I think the aftermath of this storm is going to. I don't know if they'll be able to play on Saturday.
Yeah, that was is one day enough for infrastructure and traffic, depending on how bad it could be.
I would think not. I mean,
so.
Looking at what
they would move it out of town is what they would do.
Well, they don't want to lose the home field advantage, and they certainly don't want to lose the gate, right? So
I understand, but there are bigger things that play here.
Yeah, and I think they want to. This is a huge game for USF, by the way. This is a humongous game for them and their program, and they got to win this game to stay in the AAC hunt. So it's enormous, and having to play, obviously prepare through this situation. I mean, for the players, they're in their dorms. It's USF. They're obviously far from the coast. It's a very, very safe place to be. But hey, you don't know how the stadium's going to come through this. You know, if this is a direct hit and it's 125 mile an hour winds, and I know a lot of the stuff that at the stadium is rated to withstand some stuff, but I mean, you got video boards there that are completely exposed, right? 125 mile an hour winds with stuff, you know, blowing around. You've got, you know, the light stanchions. You got a lot of stuff. In Tropicana Field, I saw they were housing a lot of the workers, the utility workers and National Guard at Tropicana Field. I'm like, hello, there's a 125 mile an hour, 130 mile an hour windstorm coming. You have a fabric roof. I mean, I'm no engineer, but
I think you have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like that catwalk. I don't want to be sleeping below that catwalk when 125 mile an hour winds come through. No, thank you. I mean, I would guess that they're, you know, that's just a staging area, and as it comes in, they won't be under that roof. But seriously, like how Tropicana Field, they may need a new stadium sooner than they think. So I would worry about that for sure. So at this point, the Bucs have evacuated to New Orleans. They're leaving today. There's talk still. The Lightning, they're going to evacuate to Raleigh, and which is where they're playing on Friday night. So now the USF game has been moved to Saturday. And if I'm a Bulls fan, I would think you might even, look towards a Sunday game. Are they precluded from playing on Sunday because of the NFL?
I don't think they're allowed to play on Sunday, are they?
Well, I would think there's got to be some disposition for, natural disasters.
I think the NFL would make them play it Monday during the day.
Yeah, maybe. I
want to say this has happened before.
That would be a very bad look for the NFL. Sorry. While you're cleaning up from the major Cat 5 storm, you're not allowed to play on Sunday per our television ratings. I think that would be a very bad idea. But that being said, we'll see what happens with that. So we'll keep our eyes on what's happening with the storm. I think at this point, if it does weaken to a Cat 1 and it comes ashore, there's still going to be ridiculous flooding everywhere. That's going to be really hard. But when you're talking about, right now the winds are at 145 miles an hour. If it were to make landfall like that, direct hit, that wind field, is just going to do a ton of damage. That's a lot. 150 is a lot more than 90, 75 and those gusts. Those are, and if you've ever been out, have you been in 110 mile an hour winds? Have you ever stood outside? Oh, we found a squirrel.
All right. I would be freaking out right now.
We found him. Little Breezy. Little Breezy was a casualty of Helene. Got blown out, and we found him on the ground, unresponsive, and we have nursed him back to health. Little Breezy, let's say hello to everybody. Little Breezy.
Do you have to do mouth to mouth?
We did, yeah, we did. I told you about the mama squirrel that did the mouth to mouth, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hello, Little Breezy. Like that name, Little Breezy.
You.
No, he's not. He loves me. We feed him with the little syringe dropper.
Yeah.
And he grabs it with his little paws and he just like sucks on it. Yeah. And then he climbs up under my bald head and says, "Where's all the hair? Where can I hang out?" Yeah. All right. See you later.
You're listening to live coverage of JP.
We saved a squirrel in the last hurricane. Yeah, for the folks on the podcast, they're like, "I want to see the baby squirrel. He's so cute."
Check out YouTube if you want to see what it looks like. It just looks like a squirrel. It's nothing great.
It's so cute. It's just
a rat with a fluffy tail. That's all it is.
So cute. So he was just on the ground. The other one we saw in the trees. If you haven't heard this story, and Ashley's screaming, "Oh my God, he's holding on for dear life!" Oh! And then I run up, and just as I run up, she's like, "Ah, he fell on the ground." He fell, and I run down, and he's there, motionless, and I'm like, "You okay, little buddy?" And then, the mom came down, and I was like, "Okay, you take over here." And she flipped him over, and started like pressing on his belly or something with their paw. I swear to God, it looked like he was giving him CPR. I'm like, damn, squirrel, you took the course. Wow.
You got to be certified to be a squirrel there. And
yes. He's like, I'm like, okay, nice move. And then grabbed him by the neck and pulled him up to the nest. Now we haven't seen him since.
She probably served him up for dinner.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, but this one, so this is another one we found. And we nursed this one back to life, and so far so good. But anyway,
Mama's not looking for that one. You don't think?
Probably. We keep bringing them back.
Yeah.
To where we picked them up and we let them run around, wait for mom to come back. But mom's like long gone.
Yeah, it's probably
long gone. So anyway, we're gonna have huge impacts here locally, and let's be smart. So you watched the Chiefs Saints game last night, right? Two teams the Bucs are going to play in short order here. And I'll say this, the Saints are, they started like a house of fire, 44 points scored. And since then, not so much. Teams have made adjustments. Now, of course, the Bucs have a gaping hole in the middle of the field that if they would like to exploit, clearly it is open to be exploited. But I don't fear the Saints as I once did early on in the season. I'm like, woo, wow, they've kind of figured it out. Now they've still got limitations offensively. Their offensive line is not good. The Bucs are going to need to exploit that tremendously. Obviously, the Saints will be coming off a short week where they had to, go on the road to travel and get their ass beat by the Chiefs. I'm trying to think if they had any serious injuries last night.
Derek Carr's out.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that late in the game. Yeah, he got the oblique injury. That's right.
Yeah, the mysterious oblique injury.
Yeah,
knocked to the ground for the umpteenth time.
Yeah, he's not coming back in a week from that.
I don't think so. I mean, we haven't really heard, but
yeah, those oblique injuries for a guy that's throwing a football and that's where all the power comes from. You're torquing as you throw. Yeah, he's not coming back in a week.
Yeah.
So who I don't even know the name. I've never even heard of that backup quarterback. What the hell's his name?
Hader.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
I thought the Hader was the closer. It's not that Hader.
No, they drafted him in the 4th round.
I've never heard of that dude.
Jake Haener. Jake Haener. Yeah.
Who the hell is Jake Haener?
Jake Haener out of Fresno State. They drafted him in the 4th round last year in 2023. So he was Fresno State quarterback.
Well, I would like to thank Jake Haener. Well, so
he made a couple of really impressive throws, though, I thought.
So I lost anybody wants to hear my betting story. So I lost 2 parlays this weekend on a half a yard. I had a 4-bet parlay. It would have been for $400. And I had Nico Collins, who's over 78.5, right? Catches a 68-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter, not 69, which it clearly could have been.
Yeah.
And he pulls up with a hammy.
And he's out.
So he sits on 78. All 3 of the other ones are hitting. And I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding? So last night, Kamara makes a catch. He's over 34. All my 2 other ones have hit for $215, $25 bet parlay. So I need for a whole quarter, all I need is Kamara for another catch. He's a half a yard short. They mark him half a yard short. But I got a whole quarter. So the Chiefs go on a 6-minute drive. They finally get the ball back, and now there's no quarterback. Now they got, Bill Hader's in. And I'm like, no way I'm going to lose this by half a yard again. No freaking way. So at first, he's going to check it down to Kamara. That's all he's got. He can't throw the ball downfield. He's coming off the bench. So he goes to throw to Kamara, who's wide open, misses him by 10 feet.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
I'm like, oh my God. But he's got, he's got to get a few more shots. So finally he hits him over the middle, and my bet covers. But I'm like, oh my, if I had two times in a weekend by half a yard, that would have been not good.
But I'm telling you though, man, Haener, I wasn't wildly impressed because he didn't do a lot. He didn't have a lot of time, but a couple of throws that throw at the last throw almost at the end of the game to Olave down the right sideline the near sideline. Dude, that pass had a
throw.
window of about a foot, and he nailed it, and Olave dropped it.
Yep. Well, how about the one that the car got hurt on?
Yeah.
Threw it right in the kid's bread bag. That's a tough catch over the shoulder. But that was a hell of a throw given the all-out blitz. But, yeah, so I think the Bucs are in decent shape when it comes to
So do you want to know that what I've noticed, of course, I watch a lot of Saints. You know what I've noticed? The biggest difference between the first 2 weeks when the Saints were lighting it up, they scored 47 and 44 points against the Panthers and Cowboys.
Right.
And the last 3 games when they've scored 12, 24, and 13, is those first 2 weeks they were hitting everything down the field. Derek Carr could not miss. And now he is hitting nothing downfield. They had a good one to Shaheed last night, but dude, against the Eagles, against the Falcons, he couldn't hit anything 20 yards and further down the field. And his accuracy has gone back to the accuracy that we saw in Oakland and then Las Vegas, and then now with the first part of his career with the Saints. He's just not very accurate these last 3 games, and I don't know that the Bucs have anything to worry about because he's probably not going to be playing anyway. But even if he is, I'm just not scared of Derek Carr like I really wasn't the first 2 weeks because I didn't know any better. But he's not going to replicate that.
No, I don't. Well, clearly now this is a great opportunity for the Bucs to go in there and get a dub. They're going to have to depend on Kamara. I would think their passing game is going to be limited. But can this kid run? I don't know about his ability to run. That could best. And again, why do we have so many issues with rookie quarterbacks? See Bo Nix. If I swear to God, if Bowles goes out and plays that soft ass zone against this rookie quarterback and allows him to just throw 5-yard outs all day long, I'm going to lose my effing mind watching this game, like they did with Bo Nix. Just make it so freaking easy for him.
Yeah,
I will lose my freaking mind. Why?
You know who the Saints' other quarterback is, don't you?
Who?
The vaunted former OU and South Carolina Gamecock Spencer Rattler.
Oh, that's where Spencer Rattler is? I thought you were going to say Taysom Hill. We might see a heavy dose of Taysom Hill.
But he's hurt.
Is Taysom hurt?
Yeah, he hasn't played the last 2 weeks.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So you might see Rattler.
Oh, Spencer Rattler. Okay.
Although they didn't pick him, they put Hainer in instead of Rattler. What does that tell you about?
Yeah, exactly.
What happened to Rattler? It's supposed to be a Heisman candidate. His first season starting at OU, and then he goes to South Carolina, and now he's the third-string quarterback.
Well, as we've seen, DJU, high school evaluations of quarterbacks are not very accurate. Yeah, remember, he was rated above C.J. Stroud and – who was the third one in that class? Like Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
He was rated above both of them. I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
Football gods giveth and taketh away.
We need to redo that evaluation, I believe. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report's going to join us and his lovely hair. We got lots to talk about with the Saints and the Buccaneers and this hurricane. So stay with us. Quick break. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have any issues with your insurance companies for all these hurricane claims, give them a call. Contact them through the website, jeeveslawgroup.com. Back in 3. September is here, and it's time to celebrate with the stunning birthstone of the month. It's Sapphire at the Gold and Diamond Source. Known for their natural beauty and glamorous allure, Sapphire's truth, sincerity, and faithfulness make it the perfect stone for September. During the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and its quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or just to treat yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. At the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, along with IndyCar Tim and Little Breezy the Squirrel. We welcome in our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, PAMMC.com. What's up, Scotty? How are you? You missed the squirrel.
I'm doing good, fellas. How are you?
Our baby squirrel, Little Breezy, who we saved from Hurricane Helene, made an appearance this morning, but
very cool
to go back into the box to get his nuts.
Weird squirrel. We had weird live squirrel talk on the air earlier.
You're not going to find that on any other show, folks. Just
That's
here
right.
at the JP Peterson
right.
Show.
Thank God.
Squirrels and their nuts.
Gathering his nuts, as we all should be doing right now as the hurricane approaches. Gather your nuts, folks, because you're going to need them. You're going to need them.
Hang on to them. Hang on to your nuts.
Hang on to your nuts.
And hang on to your nuts.
Yep.
Yes, you will need to protect all nuts. How you doing, partner? You hunkered down? You good?
We're
loot's ready for the hurricane.
What is that? Are You a Speedwagon song? Riding the Storm Out.
Yeah,
doing that in Wesley Chapel. We're 24 miles from shore, so no storm surge for us. Just the biggest thing to worry about is the high winds, the tornadoes, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see. The roads. I'm not telling anybody not to evacuate, but man, the roads are packed. And we left town for Irma several years ago. We went to Gulf Shores, Alabama, to get out of harm's way, and it missed Tampa by 45 miles. I think it shifted at the last minute, as storms often do. So we lucked out. But the problem, I think, for us at least, and I don't want to speak for anybody, just myself, but with Helene kind of hitting the panhandle, right? If you're making that dash to Alabama, right, to get out of the state, or even north to Georgia, but if you're heading towards the west, you have to go through all of that damage up there by Tallahassee and all of that. And And so those gas stations are kind of empty, or they are now
Overwhelmed, yeah.
probably. It's a tough
They're still
situation.
cleaning all that up, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just it's tough with these back-to-back storms.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, if you're going to evacuate, I told people this earlier in the day, the roads, check your Google Maps. There's not, stay off the main highways. There's lots of other roads that you can take, and they're fine now. You don't want to take the back roads when the storm's moving in, because then the trees are going to come down.
Yep.
That's a bad idea. But for the most part, you have plenty of time to evacuate.
Yeah.
But just check your Google Maps and stay off the main roads.
Check your gas too, like your mileage, and be prepared to sit in your car. Like if there is a back, like a backup on any of the roads.
Yeah.
You're sitting there burning gas, so make sure you have enough gas to get to the destination. Don't plan on there being any gas. I remember in Irma, we did find a gas station like after the 5th or 6th try, because we needed to fill up. And this was just kind of around the Panhandle going towards Alabama. And it was an hour wait at the gas station, like literally an hour. Like the line of cars was back about a quarter mile from the gas station. So they actually had police standing there telling people, wait, this is the line. You need to get your car here and I'll wave you. They literally had police working at the gas station, making sure it was orderly in terms of going up there and filling your tank. But it took an hour to fill up with gas just for us to get to Alabama. So
good grief.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
We've already got all the cars gassed up, and also, like I said in the first hour, anticipate the worst happening in your home. Have mattresses available to put up on walls and windows if they're broken. All that stuff. Whatever you have extra in the garage, bring it in. If you have extra mattresses or whatever, just be smart. Anticipate the worst. So, all right. Well, the Bucs looked like they got a bit of a break last night with Derek Carr went down, and it looks like an oblique injury, which
that's tough.
They don't heal in a week.
No,
they don't heal in a week. Not for a quarterback.
It's a short week, and it happened when he was torquing to make a throw as he was getting hit on a blitz. And if he does play, the accuracy is going to be affected. The velocity of his throws is going to be affected. The effectiveness overall is going to be affected. Now, if Derek Carr does play, maybe that plays right into the Saints' game plan, which would be to dink and dunk the Buccaneers with their soft zone coverage. So maybe he's good enough to do that. But listen, I think that Todd Bowles has a better plan and more time to plan than he did on that Thursday night. I don't want to make excuses for Todd Bowles, right, at all, but I think he was a little bit hamstrung. He just lost Servastier Dennis on Sunday to injured reserve. They had a short week of practice. They literally had 2 walkthroughs, and then they're on the plane to Atlanta. Like it was that quick of a turnaround. And I just don't know that he had enough time to effectively do anything more than what he did. They played very few man coverage reps. I think that he overprotected KJ Britt.
Yep.
Because the problem is when you play man, you can't just play man everybody except for, a couple guys. You can play some man zone concepts on one side of the field, but that requires a lot of communication. And so with the soft zone, the spot drop linebackers that we saw on just about every play, it came back to bite the Buccaneers. But the problem is if you do play man and KJ Britt is manned up, that is just a tell for Kirk Cousins on every single play. It's like, oh, we have Tyler Algier in the game. Tyler Algier on KJ Britt. I know where I'm going with the ball. Oh, Bijan Robinson on KJ Britt. I know where I'm going with the ball. Oh, Kyle Pitts on KJ Britt. I know where I'm going with the ball.
Yep.
And that's something that Todd Bowles wanted to avoid. And, he lost either way, as it turns out. And the other thing, too, is, again, and I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to find some valid reasons for what happened and why they lost. The middle of the field gave up over 300 yards of
370 yards.
Yeah, of passing offense.
Wow.
And listen, as much as we want to dog KJ Britt, who was the worst graded PFF defender on Thursday night, Levante David, too, gave up over 100 yards receiving in the middle of the field. And you got to understand, and if you were at that game on Sunday, and I was up in the cushy air-conditioned press box, okay?
Yes.
But I went downstairs at 4 o'clock when the game was over to do an on-field hit for News Channel 8. And immediately, this is 4 o'clock. This is where the shade is already like on the west side of the stadium,
It was
right?
an inferno.
It was an absolute inferno. And I can't imagine playing out there in the sun from
That's why I
1 to
said it
4
all
o'clock.
week, Scott. I said it all week.
Yeah.
I mean, you asking these guys to go up there and play on a Thursday on 4
Yes.
days rest after playing in that heat,
Right.
which of
And
course the Falcons did not have to.
34-year-old Levante David
Right. It ain't
recovered
working.
slower than 22-year-old Zion McCollum or Christian Izzian or those guys.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And they
yet
played what, another 82 plays?
Yes.
The defense?
80, I think 81.
That's
but
2
yes.
weeks after playing an 83 play game against. I mean, that's too much. And that's another thing we need to discuss.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is because of this soft zone that they're playing, they're allowing teams, they're just giving yardage away and saying, we'll play red zone defense, and that's the way we're going to approach it.
Right.
And that's fine. But a residue of that is being on the field too long and playing too many plays. And when you're injured, sometimes, and I think Todd has to start thinking about it this way, I'd rather blitz and get beat on a deep ball than be, if I'm going to give up a 12-play drive, my defense is dead. I'd rather give it up in 2 and say, okay, let's go out and try to make another big play. Let's get a sack, an interception. Guys, go for the ball. We can't do this.
You're exactly right, especially with what you're saying. This is part of game management. It's not what just happens in those 60 minutes, which is really 3 hours on a game day.
Right.
The game management is what are the factors leading up to the game, right? This is not normal. Playing football on Sunday and then another game on Thursday.
I hate Thursday night games.
I do too. And it was a hell of a game. It was a very interesting game for a Thursday night game. Usually you see sloppy football. We can say the Bucs tackled very sloppily, and the points allowed were sloppy.
Because they're fatigued.
They're fatigued. There's no doubt.
Yes.
But so as much as we want to rag KJ Britt, Levante David in coverage was just as bad. I mean, his coverage grade on PFF was right around 45, which is what it was for KJ Britt as well. So
plus, when you're playing zone defense, Scott, I hate to interrupt you, but you can't. This is where I have a problem with PFF. That's not just on the linebackers. The safeties have to come up and play those plays too over the middle. So
and
it's not just on
KJ
too.
Right.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean,
grades.
It's not just on the linebackers. To me, it's on the coaching staff. If it's not working, get different personnel in there and try different things. You just can't. This is something that Todd, I think, struggles with, is making quick adjustments. He takes
I
too
asked
long.
him about that on Friday morning, and I said, Coach, have you thought about playing some dime defense? And he said, yeah, if we, he essentially said, if we had Winfield, we could do it. The problem is they were down a safety. Yeah. And Winfield's not on injured reserve. He's on the roster, right? So they already made some concessions. They brought up the punter. They brought up the receiver, Cody Thompson. So they already had their practice squad elevations for that game. And when you're looking at the safeties, right, you had Izzian and you had Whitehead, who also went down in the game. Then you had Kayvon Merriweather, right? Yep. So they were a little thin to begin with to do that. And Tyke Smith also got dinged up. He was able to come back in the game. But I just don't think that if he had Winfield, then you can play safety, because then Izzian comes off the field, right? And then you say, all right, do we want Izzian in for KJ Britt? Yes, we do. Then we take Britt off the field and bring Izzian back on. So I think that is going to allow, when Winfield comes back, we will see some dime defense, which is 6 defensive backs, 3 corners, 3 safeties, and 1 linebacker. And that linebacker should be Levante David. And you know what? I like Levante's chances in coverage better than anybody else healthy right now. Servatier Dennis was the best coverage linebacker by far. It's just that shoulder injury is probably going to cost him a season. And then you have Levante, a well-rested Levante. I like my chances. 34-year-old Levante, after playing in a scorching, sweltering game on Sunday and then playing Thursday,
it's hard.
It's hard.
Well, and another reason this short week's going to screw with the Bucs in the roster is because all these guys you had out in week 5 against the Falcons, Gedeke, Kalijah Cansey, Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, and of course Winfield. That's are any of these guys going to be ready for a Thursday night game now, an important division Thursday night game?
Now, it pretty much takes them out of the equation. And to your point, Tim, that's a very good, astute point. which is not a rarity for you, by the way, because you're on point with your comments. Sometimes even more than JP.
The bar is low.
Yeah, bar is low for
Yeah,
both
Bar
of
is
us.
very low.
But no, that's a great point, because again, Todd Bowles, and I appreciate this as a head coach. This is not Madden football, right? Where it's
Right.
just it's a 2D kind of thing. This is a 3D world we live in, unless there's a Matrix, and then it's not. But this is a 3D world where Todd Bowles wants to see these guys execute the game plan in practice. When you have a walkthrough,
Yeah.
you can't judge. Like, you can't judge, is Luke Edeke going to pass concussion protocol? Part of the concussion protocol is a live practice, right? Noggin to noggin. Like, do you feel the effects? Yes, you do. Then you're downgraded. That's what happened prior to the last game, prior to the Atlanta game, the Eagles game. When you have the head-to-head noggin test, are you feeling the symptoms? No, I feel fine. Good. Now you're off concussion protocol and you're able to play. Same thing with Winfield. You got to run around and do it out there. I got to see you run and cover and do those things to test that ankle, not just on the sidelines with the trainer, but actually in practice. But when you're having a walkthrough, you're not giving Winfield the opportunity to show that that ankle is healthy.
Right.
So I totally get it with Todd Bowles. The last thing he wants is for any of these guys, Winfield, Kalijah Kancey, Luke Edeke, to have a setback, because then that just prolongs their eventual return. Like, if they're 90% close, they need to be at 100%, not 100% healthy, but 100% to return, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have them stay. Because that's what happened with Kalijah Kancey last year, right? They tried to rush him back for the Vikings game. He re-injured it. Then he's out, basically another month. And then they waited until he's fully healthy. And when he was fully healthy, boom, he played the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you want from all these guys.
Well, and to kind of wrap up the Falcons game, I thought it was a tremendous effort by the guys. And we want to get mad at Bowles, but the thing is, he didn't have many bullets left in the gun. I mean, the roster was so depleted.
Yeah.
And the guys were giving their all, and I don't want, and that's why I didn't want to get mad if we blew a game. Yeah, you could have won it. Yeah. But just to be in that game, given the circumstances you were given, I think was a hell of an effort. They moved the football. They could have been more aggressive in the second half. I think Liam Cohen would revisit that. I think
it's a lesson learned for Cohen, right? 6 points and a half is not going to win you a game.
Right. Yeah.
Touchdowns
they needed to
games,
push the
field
ball
goals.
down the field.
Right.
And I get it. And sometimes I don't know if that's, because this has a lot to do with Todd Bowles as well. Todd,
I don't know. He's very hands-off.
Is he giving any, is he like, okay, let's run the ball a little bit more here?
He's incredibly hands-off. And I asked Dave Canales that last year. I'm like, Dave, you're a rookie play caller. Like, is Todd giving you direction? He's like, no, there's times where I want him to, but he's not. And
they sure seem to play conservative, though, whenever they get a lead at all. And if they get 2 scores, forget it. I mean, now it's just running up the middle.
Yes. There's 2 schools of thought here, right? One is the Bucs just got the ball back. They're in field goal range. Okay. So in Liam Cohen's mind, that I've not spoken to Liam, but I'm guessing as an offensive coordinator, you're in field goal range right now. Field goal gives you a 6-point lead.
You're running the ball. You're running the ball.
But it doesn't win the game for you, because after you kick the field goal, they're going to have a chance to get a touchdown to win the game, right?
That's true.
So, but you want them to have as few time ticks on the clock,
right?
And you shorten the game by making them burn their timeouts, right? So they can't stop the clock, where the clock is their enemy. The problem is there's one overarching thing that accomplishes both. If you get the first down, you win the game,
right?
Because they will burn their timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you get a first down on the first play, okay, now you're super in field goal range. Now you're at the 18-yard line. If you get 10 yards on the first play, you're at the 18-yard line. You're definitely in field goal range. But now they're going to burn their timeouts 1, 2, and 3. And then on third down, once you run a play, that's going to chew even more clock. And now you're going to kick a field goal, and they're going to have less than a minute, probably around 20, 30 seconds to go the entire length of the field and score a touchdown to win. So my fault with that is again, it goes back to what Liam Cohen said. I did a Peter Pulse video on this on Peter Report TV, our YouTube channel. Players over plays. That was Liam Cohen's mantra. Mm-hmm. If you look at the hierarchy of the Buccaneer offense, It starts with Mike Evans,
Mhm.
greatest weapon of all time in Tampa Bay history, future Hall of Famer. He's number one. Then it's your $100 million quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who, by the way, threw 3 touchdowns and was actually pretty good in the game, just 49 yards of offense in the second half, 49 passing yards, but still had a good game. There's no threat of like, oh, Baker's not having a good game. He's having a great game. Number 3, the other $20 million receiver, Chris Godwin. When you need it, you throw it to Chris. When you got to have it, you throw it to Chris. You need a first down, he's going to get you 10, right? Then, and you know what? You pick. Bucky Irving, Rachaad White. Whoever's 4, whoever's 5. I don't care. You pick. But what Liam Cohen did on that drive was he ignored number 1, ignored number 3, and the only pass that Baker Mayfield threw was a very predictable screen pass to either the 4th or 5th option. Otherwise, options 4 and 5, Irving and White, touched the ball on that last drive. And in my opinion, the goal should have been, it's not we got to burn their timeouts. It's get the first down. Because if we get the first down, everything opens
It's over.
up. It's over. One first down, 10 yards, and they win the game. So I think
that's got to be your mindset.
That's got to be the mindset.
Give it back to him with a 6-point lead. It's don't give it back to him or get a touchdown.
Correct. Yeah. And the thing is, though, is like when you throw the ball, yes, an incompletion can happen. That stops the clock. And I think if you go back to that Detroit game on 3rd and 10, Baker Mayfield checked out of, 3rd and 6. Baker Mayfield at the 10-yard line checked out of a run and tried to throw the quick slant to Mike Evans. So they tried the players over plays in that particular instance. It backfired.
And I like
Derek
the call.
Barnes. I like it too.
I like the call.
You're trusting Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield. I would rather trust that than Rachaad White
to win the game.
Or Bucky Irving.
You're telling me if I do a little short boot slant, man-to-man, I'm like, the guy played it tremendously well, the defensive end, on that particular play. He didn't take the bait, which was, as a play caller, you anticipate guys taking the bait on that. And when they don't, well played. Tip the cap. But I love the call. And everybody hated the call. I'm like, no, you get a first down there, you win the game. Yeah. And I'll take that. To me, that's an 85% completion rate. I agree. Working with those guys. So, and I to your point, I would have liked to seen that call again or something similar.
And here's the thing. It didn't work in Detroit, so that's kind of what Liam's probably thinking. Like, all right, well, like I remember that it didn't work, but now there's a new memory that he needs to remember, which is I didn't try that, and it backfired, right? Yeah. So now
process over results.
That's right. That's
just
exactly
because it didn't work doesn't mean your process wasn't correct.
I like Liam Cohen. He's smart. He's making some mistakes. He's figuring this out at a way faster and more successful rate than Dave Canales did.
Yeah.
And as a result, what have we seen? Through 5 games, 3 games with 30 points or more. They're averaging 25 points per game over this time last year, and they averaged 16 points per game through 5 games.
Well,
so
how about that?
Yeah, it's night and day difference. And oh, by the way, the Bucs run game is ranked 18th in the league at 111 yards per game.
Shiz.
So I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're not last, you're middle.
That's all you have to be.
Middle's great.
Middle's
all
great.
You have to be when you have a pass first offense, which this should be with a $100 million quarterback and 2 $20 million wide receivers. It should be pass first. You're exactly right, Tim. Just middle of the pack. That's all you need. A complementary run game.
This is why this loss does not bother me.
I agree.
It doesn't bother me. In fact, I think there were a lot of positives in this game. Hell, Logan Hall showed up, for God's sakes.
You're leading.
That's going to help him. Yep. So I saw a good run game.
Mm-hmm.
I saw new pass rushers. I saw and I saw a hell of an effort. They play hard for Todd Bowles. They're competitive. They play together. All those are tremendous positives.
Yeah.
Tremendous positives. So you lost the divisional game. You would have liked to have won. That's fine. Now you go to New Orleans. They don't have their quarterback. Don't lose this one. Don't let this kid just run around and whoever the hell is going to play, whether it's Spencer Rattler or Bill Hader or whoever the hell they throw out there. I don't care.
Yeah.
Get the dub. Yeah. Go into New Orleans, get the dub, and you come out and you're 4-2 and you're fine.
Schematically, there's some things wrong with the Saints. They average 45.5 yards per game the first 2 games. They have averaged 16 yards per game in each of the last 3 games with Derek Carr as the quarterback.
So Tim was just pointing that out before you came on.
Yeah. So it's it's not, oh, well, Derek Carr's out, so the Saints offense is going to crater. Saints offense has been cratering, really.
Yeah.
And I think you look at the Dallas defense, the Panthers defense, not elite by any
Not
means.
elite.
So I think they had their cream puffs on the schedule early, and then now they're getting into like really good opponents: Falcons, Eagles, Chiefs, right? And now I think Buccaneers. And if you stop Alvin Kamara at this point, you beat the Saints. I really believe that, unless you just have a couple of brain farts and let Rashid Shaheed go crazy with some deep balls to you.
Mm-hmm.
There really isn't a whole bunch about the Saints offense that scares me. They did beat the Bucs last year with Juwan Johnson, the tight end, so he can pop off. You have to keep an eye on him, especially in the middle of the field. If you don't fix the middle of the field, Juwan Johnson's going to have a big game, fantasy football players. Because that's what happened last year at Ray J when the Saints came in and bullied the Buccaneers in that Week 17 loss by Tampa Bay.
And how big is the move? And we knew it would be Chris Godwin back into the slot this season. He's already got 3 touchdowns, which is more than he had all of last season in 17 games.
Yeah, you're right. And Tim, the other thing too is Alante Taylor, the cornerback for the Saints, might be their best defensive back. I mean, say what you want about Marshawn Lattimore. He's getting up there a little bit, still good, still quality, still can rise up and have a great game, but he's not the player he once was. Paulson Adebo, kind of a feast or famine corner. He's going to get some interceptions, some pass breakups. He's going to give up a play or two as well. But Alante Taylor, their slot corner, I think is their best defensive back.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a stud. Very physical player. Forced a fumble last night, 5 tackles. He's going to be the guy covering Chris Godwin. And Chris Godwin's going to have some struggles because this guy can really, really play. He's a dude.
Well, and if one has struggles, if Godwin's going to have some struggles with coverage, that just means Evans is going to be probably more open. Lattimore will be on him. Probably.
You know what? I want to give Jalen McMillan, the time to develop, and that only happens on the field. Yeah. And we've seen like a more improved Trey Palmer this year. Both those guys are injured. I think Palmer probably has a chance to play with the concussion coming off of that. McMillan, not sure. We haven't seen the injury report yet. He hasn't practiced. They'll practice tomorrow. Yeah. But he's got a hamstring injury. That's usually an injury that's not like a 1 week kind of thing. But I like Sterling Shepard, man. He showed up for Baker Mayfield in that game.
He's got a few screw loose. He's got a screw loose.
That's what they say.
Baker said?
Yeah.
That kid's got a screw loose.
That's why I like him.
Yeah. That's really good.
You're the same person.
Yeah.
So the Bucs, they're leaving today, right, for New Orleans?
Correct. They're leaving today.
Where are they going to work out? Are they going to?
My guess is Tulane, probably. Michael Pratt probably show them around a little bit.
Yeah,
this is raised to play. And all that is my guess.
Hanging out in the Garden District. Ooh, that's trouble. That's trouble. Stay away from bourbon, boys.
Yeah, I was going to say this is going to be a business trip. And,
it's funny. You don't have to worry about that with this team, though.
You don't.
You don't. You really These guys are all. I don't want to say they're choir boys, but for the most part, you just have. There's like. They ain't dudes running out to the club after the game. It's just not a whole lot on this team. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just from what I see in the locker room. Like you remember the days when you could just tell when guys were getting ready to go out.
We'd see him down in Frankie's patio at Ybor City.
Exactly.
Harpo's. You'd see him.
And Raheem was buying the drinks. Yeah, we remember those days.
Yeah. For sure.
Raheem's got a tab at the Hideaway. I'm heading up.
Right. You've got older guys like Mike Evans who's married with kids, right? You've got a young guy like Zion McCollum who's married. You got Tristan Wirfs, a young guy who's married with kids, right?
That's right.
Some of your better players have families.
Yeah.
And they have reasons not to be out at the clubs getting into trouble, right?
That's right.
And I think that permeates the locker room, right? The old guys, the young guys. There's enough young guys on this team that have kids, that have, that are parents, that have spouses or girlfriends that ground this team and that make this team very professional despite being very young. And listen, Todd Bowles, he likes to clown around and, he tells dad jokes and the players love playing for the guy.
Yeah,
but he's all business, right? And it's like, and nothing against Bruce Arians whatsoever, but he would throw tailgate parties, right? And like out there after the games, win or lose, he'd be having a crown and throwing back and inviting the players over.
That's right.
Todd Bowles goes home and literally, and I have this as a fact, literally has cookies and milk.
Cookies and milk.
Okay,
yes,
his milk of choice, I believe, is 1%. He'll settle for 2% if he doesn't have it.
If it's a big win, he goes chocolate. I've heard that.
Yeah, I would
I've
too.
heard that.
I'd mix
I've
a little
heard
strawberry.
sometimes
If you
they'll
get
bump it
on,
up
if you get on like a 2-3 game winning streak, then I just say, hey, we're going to go strawberry for
strawberry milk.
Celebratory.
Wow, wow.
Why not?
I was thinking it's better for them this team to get evacuated to New Orleans than Orlando. Because
Totally
Orlando with the kids, they'd all have to go to the parks and be exhausted standing in line.
Yeah.
So it's better that they go to New Orleans.
I actually like this because there's no the travel day is early in the week before you practice. You get into a routine and you're already there. And not like that is a disruptive thing. The Buccaneers have won plenty of times on the road, flying into a city on a Saturday, going to the stadium, doing the walk through there, back to the hotel Saturday night, meetings, get some rest, play the next day. I'm not saying that this is going to guarantee a win or anything, but I kind of like this because it does. It is. It mixes up the travel, and you get the travel done early in the week, and then you lock into business the entire week, and you're there, same hotel, familiarity, hanging out with the guys, resting. Exactly.
Yeah, that's just good. This team needs rest, mental and physical rest.
You're exactly right.
And have you heard what they're doing with the families? Are the families going too? Or
I'm sure. Listen, the Glazier family. Say what anybody wants to say about the Glazier family. They do not spare expenses whatsoever when it comes to this type of thing. They will put players and their families, and not just wives and kids. We're talking about parents and in-laws too, immediate family. They will put you up out of harm's way. They'll do whatever it takes. And it's all done behind the scenes. They're not going to be bragging about it. They don't put a press release out. You hear the players talk about it, though, because they appreciate it. They appreciate what the Glazers do. And just with Helene before the Eagles game, Baker Mayfield admitted that he had to be evacuated. He and his wife, Emily, and their little girl, they were in a hotel room. And he's like, like I had all the lights out, the baby sleeping, and I got my laptop on, looking at film with the kid like on the bed next to me here, studying for the Eagles game. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And it shows the level of care and the level of commitment to this team. The Glazers, they own the Buccaneers, not just with their wallets, but with their hearts as well. And I think that they deserve an awful lot of praise.
It's a family business. They run it like a family business.
Bingo. You nailed it. Yeah, they do believe in family. Malcolm, may he rest in peace, gave this team to the kids, included them from the get-go to run the team. Yeah. And you're exactly right, Tim. But to Tim, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you've been so on point today with your questions and comments. I think even better than myself. Maybe I should be the co-host next time around, and you just be the guest.
We vote for Tim. We vote for Tim today. Tim.
Yeah. I mean, you're an ace today. Like you're usually like really, really good and solid, and I love our interactions, but you're like next level today.
It won't last.
You've got my Pro Bowl vote.
He said he had a couple of poinsettias before the show today.
I did.
He's drinking.
Got my coffee now, though.
It's a Tuesday. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Well, the hurricane's coming. The drinking should be part of it.
It ain't coming to Dallas, but I'll drink anyway for you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, Scotty, tell everybody what you guys got going during Hurricane Week. If they can log on, if they have power. Typically,
no podcast for us on Tuesdays, but we do have one today because we're not doing one tomorrow because we're going to be all in the hurricane prep mode. So we have our Bucs Saints preview today at 4:00 on Pewter Report TV. You can also check out yesterday's podcast, which was talking about the return of the Bucs sack attack, 10 sacks the last 2 games. And you can find that on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers. To help us grow our channel by hitting the subscribe button. It's free. You can also find our content on pewterreport.com. We have the Derek Carr story up. We're going to have a Pewter Report roundtable coming up, which is going to be which Saints player should the Bucs be concerned about the most. That comes up at noon, as well as other great content all throughout the week. And you can also find us on social media on X and Facebook and Instagram at Pewter Report. Just want to tell everybody, stay safe, hunker down if you're hunkering down, and get out of Dodge if you're getting out of Dodge. And please be safe in your endeavors, praying for everybody. And not just Tampa Bay, but the state of Florida, because if this thing goes north or south, even if it's not a direct hit in Tampa, it's still going to be a Florida hurricane, and we feel for everybody.
And they're saying that it's so strong, or they're expected to be so strong when it makes landfall, that by the time it bisects the state and makes it over to the Atlantic, it's still supposed to be a Category 1 hurricane.
Yeah,
by the time it hits water again. So that's going to be dangerous for the entire state there.
It is. Yep, it is.
Y'all
live
come
in
to
paradise. Yeah,
Come to Dallas.
live in paradise, but just be safe and be smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always add that when you tell them to
Yep.
be safe.
Yep. Do what's right for your family, whatever you believe is the best way. But
If you're
preparedness-
vacillating, guys,
Yeah.
leave.
preparedness takes some fear out of the equation. If you're prepared and you execute your plan, if you have a plan, it will help with the anxiety, will help with the fear,
Mhm.
and and then you just got to pray and hope that that we all make it. So
Yep. All right, partner. Thank you. Thank you for doing
appreciate
this.
it, guys. Take
Be
care.
safe. All right. We will take a quick break here, come back and talk a little college football, talk a little bit of Lightning. They have their roster set now as they head off to Raleigh to escape the storm and with their families as well. Wow, what a crazy week this is. And USF has moved their game to Saturday, maybe moved again. We shall see. We'll keep you up to date. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Folks, if you don't have flood insurance, don't. I mean, now you got to have, it's a 30-day waiting period. So unfortunately, it's not going to help you for this storm, but still get it because there may be one behind that. There's another one on the way, believe it or not. So get it, 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance, and they can help you after you buy your policies as well with their great customer service. So many reasons these days to have Italiano Insurance in your corner. 813-877-7799. And prayers to Jeff Italiano, his whole family, and that for their coming through this hurricane as well. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. another one of those great local companies that we have to support in these times of need, folks. Remember, after the storm, to frequent those restaurants if you can. Try to keep everybody in mind. It's not just your neighbors getting back from the storm, but it's the businesses that you use all the time that are going to need your help and your loyalty. So keep those in mind as well. The Golden Diamond Store is definitely one of those. And also, if they can help you out as well. If you need to get some quick cash and you have some old jewelry or some jewelry that you just need to sell, that's a great place to do it. They'll give you the best price. They're the most honest folks. We know that. So remember that as a great resource, as they are a tremendous local company and they help so many people. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right. I feel like we kind of glossed over last night's game a little bit, Timmy. And of course I always watch these games with an eye towards the Buccaneers. What can the Bucs do?
Yeah.
And where the Saints clearly they're the next on the board. They're beat up. Nothing I saw last night. I think their defense is okay. The Bucs should be able to score points. I think, offensively, the Bucs have got to fix the middle of the field, whoever the quarterback is. We can't just say, oh, it's going to be Spencer Rattler or it's going to be Bill Hader or whoever. We're good, because clearly Bo Nix found his footing against the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to find an answer to the middle of the field. They've got to find an answer to their soft zone defense. It doesn't work. I don't know why he uses it. It's just driving me nuts. I do know why, because he feels like he'll just give up yards, and when they get to the red zone, they'll stop him and make him kick field goals. But again, that has residue. Your defense is out there the whole damn time. So I think he just needs to come up with some different schemes.
And that's not a bad theory, give up everything from 20 to 20 and then stop them for a field goal once they hit the red zone. But the problem with that is, what if they score on a 40-yard splash play, before they get to the red zone? Because that's what's been happening against the Bucs. There's been long scoring plays that have occurred against that soft zone because somebody finds a big hole in the zone, and then they're able to
the game winner
tackles, like the game winner against Atlanta. And so that's the perfect example. So that's a great theory, but it doesn't always work if you can't tackle and you don't have the right personnel in, or if you're decimated by injuries like the Bucs are.
Exactly. Right, so they need to, first and foremost, they just need to get healthy. Now, we got the Chiefs in a couple weeks, and I will be traveling to Kansas City to do an hour and a half long pregame show for you folks from Kansas City with my co-host Taylor Swift. So we look forward to that. I'll be on the MOR TV. We're also doing a pregame for the Ravens as well in a couple of weeks. So we'll be doing an hour and 15 from Raymond James Stadium. All your local great critics will be there. We'll have lots of live guests. We'll have all Bucs content, so you don't need to be watching ESPN's pregame with all those jamokes. You can just keep it over to us, and we'll have all our jamokes on there. But at least they'll be talking all about the Bucs. So we'll do that for the Ravens game, and then we're going to go on the road and do that for the Kansas City game as well. So MOR TV, making that commitment to you, the local viewer, to bring you the best of Bucs coverage. So we'll look forward to that. But Kansas City doesn't scare me. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just ridiculous. I get it. We'll always have that memory in the back of our mind from the Super Bowl. And I don't think this team fears Patrick Mahomes. I don't think and he's got huge issues in protection. They can't protect. Their tackles are awful. They're really bad. And how long can he keep pulling a rabbit out of a hat? At some point, you can't. And he did his miracle work thing last night. That one run he had for the first down, I was just like, holy Jesus. You forget how great of a runner he really is. And you go back and look at the run he made to the, pun intended, to the Super Bowl last year. His biggest plays all came from his feet. They really did. Scrambling around, buying time and throwing downfield, or just making great runs. Remember he had that great run in the championship game for 25 yards up the middle on third or fourth down. Just insane. He's so freaking good.
A couple of those last night too, where it looked like he was going to be sacked for a loss on third down, on like 3rd and 11. And I swear, runs in circles like a cartoon character around the pocket, dodging guys. And then, they ended up calling him short, but then the challenge, he had made the first down. And that's the challenge.
I was like, no, he got that. I think the rep was like, there's no way he got that. And you're like, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I swear he's a cartoon character out there sometimes,
and he dives like Superman. I'm like, just put a cape on him, for God's sakes.
God, it's so
yeah, it was. Yeah, they should have retraced the line on that one. You know, just done the little squiggly line. It would have been like whoop, whoop, whoop,
like the video game tracker thing. God, it's so crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
But funny.
But when I look at that Chiefs team, I'm like, how the hell are they undefeated? Patrick Mahomes. One guy can't continue to do this.
And the defense.
Yeah, the defense is good. The defense is good. Chris Jones is this just in. He's pretty good. But I don't like we all said, oh, that's an L. The Bucs can go in there and win that game. There's no question. Absolutely, they can go in and win that game.
The Saints had a chance to win the game if they connected on the few passes that they missed, which is going to be the same formula for the Bucs. Baker Mayfield's going to have a good Baker Mayfield game, not a iffy, sketchy interception Baker Mayfield game.
Yeah,
but it's doable.
Absolutely, it's doable. So I see. I don't think there's a team on the schedule that the Bucs can't beat. I mean, early in the season, you're like, oh, we're not going to beat the 49ers. Well, Cardinals beat them, shut them out in the second half. Yeah. Well, we're not going to win at Kansas City. Well, why not? Every game they play is a one-score game. It seems like
Baltimore.
At Baltimore, the Ravens. I mean, they're
at home, right? They're at home against Baltimore.
Yeah, we're at home against the Ravens on a Monday night. I'm like, yes, their quarterback's really good. Lamar is tough to handle, but he also makes mistakes. And their defense ain't the old Ravens defense, by the way. They can be had.
Yeah.
So
and again, how great does that Week 1 win against Washington look right now?
Really good, really good. Yeah, Dan Quinn's got something going there. Dan Quinn's, I was there in Atlanta when they hired him, and he brought some steam. I'm here to tell you, he's a very unique guy. You may not like him wearing his hat backwards and whatnot, but he's a unique guy. He's full of piss and vinegar, and he's exactly what that organization needed. Exactly. And then, it ain't, it's about 25% of it. The other 75 is that kid, Jaden Daniels. And this is why I told you from the very beginning, he's the offensive rookie of the year, got that bet down, laid.
Might be the MVP.
It might even be the MVP.
First MVP for MVP since Jim Brown.
Jim Brown?
57. Wow. The last rookie league MVP that we had.
Yeah, and he's just that. He's just so damn accurate. So I said in the draft, he's the best thrower of the football I've seen since Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is the best one I've seen since Marino.
Yeah,
and that these guys are generational in their accuracy and their delivery. His deep ball, holy Christ,
dude! It's
Terry McLaurin just runs down the field and puts his hands out, and it's like, thank you.
His deep ball that was on a scramble drill too. That wasn't even a set play. That was just Terry running and him finding him as he's rolling out, and he doesn't even set. He's just running, and he pulls the old Montana, twisting his back around, and that was an exciting play to watch. By the way,
so freaking good.
I saw one of the funniest things on social media yesterday that I've seen in a long time, and I'm on social media a lot. It was on X, and I followed Jay Gruden, former coach of of course, Redskin, Commanders, whatever.
Yeah,
and he had posted a picture of, I guess he'd found wherever he was out and about, a picture of a lady wearing a Commander shirt that said, "I survived the Dan Snyder era." And he's kind of hugging her and looking at it like that. And his caption on the picture was, "I'm glad somebody did." It cracked me up, man.
Jay got fired, right?
Yeah.
He hadn't coached anywhere since, right?
Yeah.
And then John got caught up in it. His emails were part of the Snyder investigation.
Yeah.
Although,
I thought it was funny.
To tell you, somebody in the NFL had it out for John Gruden, and if it wasn't for that investigation, they were going to find something anyway. So
it was going to be
fooled. Don't be fooled. Now John's trying to get back in college. He'll get a job, I think, at college. I mean, the vetting process is going to be hard because those emails, and those stick around. Those stick around, unfortunately.
Paper trail. Can't leave a paper trail.
Those stick around.
And nowadays it's a digital trail, and those don't go away.
Yeah. And so, like, when any college that's going to vet him, you're going to have a group of very, shall I say, liberal academics, looking at all these things, going, that's an interesting email.
Yeah, and he'll start though at a low end school, right, and have to win his way back up to, and if he can even get past that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't think that, and I'm not saying that's right, by the way. I mean,
Yeah,
those are not the type of people that give John Gruden second chances.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those two subgroups don't mix.
No, not
The
really.
toxic masculinity and betas in academia. Those are.
By the way, the Jets have announced that Jeff Ulbrich will be their new interim head coach. He is the defensive coordinator and a former linebacker for the Jets, obviously. And I'm hearing rumors already, JP, floating around my media text threads all over the country. Guess who's interested in the Jets job for next year?
John Gruden.
Bill Belichick.
Well, he's available now.
He's available.
He's available now.
They just said that
Ulbrich
Ulbrich is the
Peyton Manning, Bill Belichick.
Dude, that show is gold, man.
It's so good.
I love it.
They go back and forth after each other. And Peyton's like, oh, let's take a look at this play from Patriots versus the one he won.
Yeah.
He's like,
Against
let's go back to that. He goes, oh, okay. We're going to look at this again. Every show now, you're going to pull out one of these.
God, he's so great, man.
Oh, yes.
So, he'd coach the Cowboys.
So what?
We he'd coach the Cowboys.
So like a year after nobody wanted him, now everybody wants him. Now that he's shown this side of like not being an asshole.
Wasn't the fan base that didn't want him?
Bill's like, wow, Bill's funny. Let's get him to coach us now. Like, no, he was he was like completely radioactive.
I've always been for him to
completely radioactive last hiring season.
No.
Like nobody's like Raheem Morris got hired instead of Bill Belichick. No disrespect to Raheem. I love him. My God, he's a Hall of Fame coach, but nobody wanted him. And now suddenly he's the hottest ticket.
Oh, I mean, fan bases wanted him.
He's glib and funny, and everybody, I thought he was a curmudgeon. No, it's like now he's hireable. God, we're so.
No, I always wanted him here. I thought McCarthy was going to get fired after the Green Bay loss, and I'm like, let's go get Bill. Let's go get Bill.
I'm sorry. My objections are still just because he's funny now doesn't mean he's a good coach.
If he didn't want him before, don't want him now. Yeah.
Yes, his time has passed. He wants to cook all the shop for the groceries and make the meal and put it all out there. Unfortunately, he's stuck in 1995 when he doesn't have Tom Brady anymore.
I mean, that's one of Bill Parcells' greatest quotes. Don't expect me to cook the dinner if I can't buy the groceries.
That's what I'm saying. He wants full control over everything. And this just in, you draft like shit. You can't draft. Sorry, Bill. You suck at drafting. You do. Tom Brady saved your ass for 20 years. Let's just call it what it is. You're mediocre without Tom Brady. And anybody who hires him who doesn't have a championship level quarterback, and I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers is all that anymore.
Nope.
I mean, he made some throws the last Monday night that were pretty freaking unbelievable. I was like, wow.
First time in his career.
But then you watch him play again, and you're like, eh.
First time in his career, he'd thrown 2 first quarter interceptions.
Yeah, 3 picks. Yeah,
and 3 total.
And 3 total in the game. He's 0-6 in games. He's thrown 3 picks. And yeah, he's more the 3-pick guy than the 3 touchdown guy now.
Yep.
Age. I don't care who you are. Father time wins. And, and you can say, well, what about Brady? He played to 45. Well, Brady doesn't play the game that part of Aaron Rodgers' games has always been his athleticism, getting out of the pocket and making plays happen. That was never part of Brady's game. So he could play later into he beat you with his brain. He beat you pre-snap. He beat you with his cannon. That's how he beat you, not with his legs. And that plays longer.
And I don't have stats in front of me to support this, but I would bet a lot of money that I don't have that Aaron Rodgers has been hit and knocked down a lot more in his career than Tom Brady ever was.
Oh, God, yes. Yes. Yeah, just by the fact that you're moving around, And Tom didn't get touched his last couple of years.
Yeah.
The ball's out of his hands so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, I don't think Belichick is an answer. I really don't. But go ahead.
It would be an interesting storyline, though. We'd love to talk about it. I'd love to write about it.
And let's just be honest. I think Jera cares more about the drama than he does
Oh, for sure.
the Cowboys.
And they're buddies too.
I think I can think Jim. I think he would make a choice for drama and headlines over good football any day.
Good morning to you,
right?
Cowboys.
Him
and Bill are good buddies too. So,
wait. We might bring in Bill Belichick. Good for. I would love to see it. Listen,
for it.
We're for interesting.
And I love Mike McCarthy. I don't think Mike McCarthy's done a bad job at all. But
Dak stepped up the other day.
He did.
Big fumble recovery.
You know, it's funny.
Details, paying attention.
I mean, he also lost one early in the game that cost him points. But at no point in that game did I ever think the Cowboys were going to win. Whenever he dropped back on that final play with 20 seconds left, and I see Tolbert rushing out, and I see him about to wind up, I'm like, no way he catches that. There's zero chance. That's the worst throw, the worst freaking idea. Oh, wait, he caught it. We win.
Great play. Yeah, they ran a play for Tolbert and not CeeDee Lamb.
Good. CeeDee Lamb's a punk, dude. I've about had it with CeeDee Lamb. I've about had it with Micah Parsons, and I've about had it with CeeDee Lamb.
How's their defense better when Micah doesn't play? Interesting.
They're both just freaking punks.
Isn't it interesting how the defense is better when Micah doesn't play? They finally stopped the run when Micah wasn't in there. How's that work, Timmy?
Guys in there that care.
Oh, is that how it is?
About more than stats.
When you're running your mouth and running down all your fellow players, and then they go, you're down, and they go out and stop the run.
Just
they stop by. Do they stop by your locker and go, "Shut up"? We're better without you. They should.
There is a rift forming, by the way, on this team between Team Dak and Team CeeDee Lamb, because they are not getting along right now.
What were the words that he said? People were trying to read his lips
when he was yelling at Dak on the sideline, and Dak didn't even look up and acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Get your head in the effing game is what CD was trying to yell at Dak. In other words, throw me the ball. Give me the ball.
He threw it to him. It was a pick. Dak, CD didn't fight for the ball or thought it was going to be a back pylon throw.
From everything I've talked to at my Cowboys insider, that was all on CD. He was supposed to stop. That was supposed to be a back shoulder at the pylon. Where did the ball go?
To the pylon.
Right at the pylon.
Yeah.
He's supposed to stop and shield the defender from the ball and catch it on the pylon, and that did not happen.
Yeah. I thought it was on CD, and he's blaming Dak. Mm-hmm. And Dak is smart enough not to blow up on the sideline. Yep. Let him yap. Yeah, let him yap. You know, we're not going to blow up in front, but I'm sure there were some words had afterwards.
CD's a punk. Yeah, I knew he was a punk when they drafted him.
Faction, you got the Dak faction, and you got the Micah Parsons faction.
Parsons on the defense. You remember when Dallas drafted CeeDee Lamb, the video of him on his couch next to his girlfriend? And they got this on video of where his phone's sitting there on his leg, and, you know, they're showing him on camera, and then his girl grabs his phone and starts to look at his phone, and he grabs it away from her and gives her this go-to-hell look and puts his phone on the other side of the couch. Like, I was like, well, number one, he's hiding something. Mm-hmm. And number two, he's a punk. He went to OU. Of course he's a punk. He's always been a punk. I mean, he can play, but...
He can play. He puts up numbers.
When he wants to.
Sure. No, I would never want a guy like that on my team. Numbers. I'll take Mike Evans any day of the week. Any day of the week. Godwin and Evans, any day of the week.
Through his slow start this year, he never, ever once complained about anything. At Mike Evans. I'm talking about Evans. Yeah, just... He's like, hey man, we're winning. Let's keep winning, and my time will come.
Oh yeah, he's the best in that way, and
I think he needs to finish his career in Dallas.
Shut up.
He's closer to home
now. His wife will not let him go anywhere. Clearly,
I mean, I wouldn't either.
Clearly,
well, I may be living in Tampa here in the next couple of years, so you never know.
He may be. He's definitely going to the Hall of Fame, and he's the greatest offensive player in Bucs history. He may be. He may be 3 or 4 years from done. He's got a 2-year contract, but
I think he might see another contract. Yeah, for sure.
I think he might. Larry Fitzgerald played till 36, 35, 36.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you could see Mike do that, but he ain't going anywhere. And he made a great choice to stay here, I think.
For best thing for his career.
Yeah. I think he did. Yeah, he trusted Baker, he trusted Bowles, and he's going to get his. He's going to get his. He's going to get his, no doubt.
Fitzgerald played 17 seasons, all with the Cardinals.
Yeah. So I think he played till he was 37, 38, maybe 38. Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, TJ Reeves going to join us. We got hurricane storms from him. Storm stories with
Storm
TJ.
stories.
Tuesday's storm stories with TJ.
I'm gonna make a graphic for that.
Yes, storm stories.
By the way, do you like my triple box?
Yeah, I love the triple box. That was
All right.
nice.
I just broke that out today for the first time.
Storm stories with TJ. Yeah, that sounds good. We're brought to you by thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC. If you need a new AC unit, go with the folks that have tons of 5-star reviews, have been around for 3 generations. That matters. In Tampa, John Rodriguez, my friend, is the owner of the company. He'll make sure everything is right. They are honest technicians that get the job done quickly, on time, and on budget. It's thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Go to the website, contact them through there, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back at 3. Discover a world of elegance and sophistication at the Golden Diamond Source. Whether you're searching for your first piece or celebrating a special milestone, their expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. Navigating the world of fine jewelry can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Their knowledgeable staff is dedicated to helping you choose the perfect piece, ensuring you feel confident and informed. At the Golden Diamond Source, they pride themselves on offering only the highest quality jewelry. From stunning engagement rings to timeless watches, each piece is crafted with precision and care. So take advantage of their 5 years interest-free financing. This means you can get a $5,000 piece and only pay $83 a month. And if you're new to buying diamonds, their first-time buyer program will educate you on the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat, and help you understand the different shapes and sizes available. Go enjoy the great staff at the Golden Diamond Source. You'll be family forever. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Get Us Gordon Group. Prayers going out to Jane and Gigi. They ready for this storm. They got hit bad by the last one. A lot of flooding. So praying for you, Jane, and your family. Be well. And after this is all over, if you need real estate needs in any way, as interest rates come down, the market's going to heat up. Probably be more inventory after the storm. Some people wanted to relocate. So if you're still interested in living near the water, you might have an opportunity. Prices going down.
I will. I still will.
That's one way to look at it, right? But anyway, for any of your insurance needs, it's real estate needs, the Get Us Gordon Group. All right, let's bring in our good friend TJ Reeves.
He's in the building!
He's been around these parts for a while. He knows a little bit about hurricanes. So it's Tuesday, and it's hurricane stories with TJ.
Oh, boy.
Here
Yeah.
we go. Storm stories with TJ.
Well, the story for right now is we have to be vigilant and watch this thing because it's coming, obviously, right at our direction, if not south of us, etc. And I have, let me just say publicly, you know this already. I've had so many people reach out to me by, it's probably over 100 yesterday and today that have directly reached me. So thank you to everybody for the concern. In our specific case, we are inland in Northwest Hillsborough County. As you know, we're not in a flood zone. We're not in an evacuation zone. And so we're playing the wait and see game here, much the same way as I was on with you 2 weeks ago with Hurricane Helene on what is this thing going to do? And as Tuesday afternoon becomes Tuesday night, then you have to figure out, all right, are we going to stay? Are we not going to stay? What's really going to happen? So we're evaluating that kind of in real time with my family, my parents, my in-laws that are all around us, and others. We're all watching this. We're being vigilant this afternoon, but this is scary stuff. You cannot overemphasize that this is scary stuff. And the only thing I keep coming back to, I mean, we had the crazy year in 2004, as you remember, where not one, not two, not three, but 4 different hurricanes rammed some part of the state or right through the middle of the state.
Charlie year, right? Was that
the Charlie year? Correct.
Yeah.
It was Charlie.
That's the one I evacuated to Orlando.
Yes.
To get hit by the storm.
And then the storm ends up barreling right through Orlando. And it's kind of the same thing with this, that if you're trying to go east or trying to go to the east coast of the state, you don't know that this thing's not going to barrel through as a category 2 or a category 1 right through the middle of the state. We obviously know about 2004. Again, when I moved here with my family in 1983, the first real experience with this was Hurricane Elena in 1985. And the locals still talk about this going back 39 years ago, because that storm sat literally, JP, for over a day and a half out off the west coast of Tampa Bay and just pounded with rain, wind, and storm surge and obliterated the beaches. The beaches all the way up and down Sarasota, St. Pete, Clearwater, north to Reddington, all of that. It was awful. And that storm didn't even come ashore. It sat there for literally like 36 hours and then eventually torqued back up into the Gulf South up towards Louisiana and Mississippi. Yeah. So I just remember the craziness of that time and the evacuations. And you obviously now have much greater technology to give you advance warning. They were talking about this weekend. They began saying on Sunday, you've got to get out if you need extra time. If you're in zone A, you got to get out. So sports is secondary. I get that, but for right now, we got to be concerned with the seriousness of Milton here and whatever's going to happen Wednesday night into Thursday.
Yeah. So be smart, be safe, folks. Have a plan, as we like to say. We haven't talked to you since the Falcons game, which I'm
trying to put me in a bad mood. Even worse, we got a hurricane.
I told you, I came out of this game very positive about the Buccaneers. I mean, I thought they played a hell of a game. We said from the very beginning this was going to be a tough ask after playing in that inferno on Sunday against the Eagles.
Right.
And then they had to play 81 plays on defense again, completely depleted, gassed. All of the overtime was a formality. When you have a defense that's that gassed, that's why I hate the freaking rule. I love college overtime so much better. It's just that defense had no shot.
You love this. So the Levante David interception happens right in front of me, left of the Buccaneer bench. And so your first reaction is that's going to seal the game. And then I immediately went, no, they still have 3 timeouts. That's not by itself going to seal the game. And I'm telling people around me, this is not over yet. Levante's coming back by with all the defensive guys after they celebrated in the end zone. And I'm like, this is all well and good, but it's not over yet. And so when they got down the field and got the clock stop and kicked the field goal, now everything, I'm with you, and you had this analysis on Friday, everything was on win the toss and get the ball because your defense is gassed. They've been on the field the whole fourth quarter. Granted, it's not a hot environment. And sure enough, you love my stories. I'm standing there left of the Buccaneer bench still in the hopes that the Bucs were going to stop them, get the ball, and maybe come win the game somehow, some way. And that pass is completed over the middle to Hodge. And my reaction is, there goes the post-game show running. So much for anybody talking to TJ on Buccaneers radio. There goes, yes, ladies and gentlemen. There it goes. So that was a tough one, and now you've got this adversity of you've got to assemble everybody in New Orleans. I did get confirmation about an hour ago that they landed in New Orleans about an hour ago. And are going to be practicing there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it's kind of I don't know if it's at Tulane or if it's at a local high school or something that has a really nice, setup and feel that they can utilize, etc. But again, this is not a simple thing that they just went and did. They got to move the whole video operation, all of the equipment, all of the stuff, because they're staying there the whole week, and you've got to prepare like it's a game week with all your stuff. Now, the good news is they've had experience doing this even in August, as recently as August, going up to Jacksonville with the Jaguars and staying there for 4 days and playing the preseason game. So this is not dissimilar to that, but it's still some upheaval. So this will be a challenge, but now you have the Saints lose again on Monday night, and Derek Carr is hurt. I don't know what the latest update is, but it's apparently an oblique injury, oblique in the side. It's not, I'm no doctor. I just play one on the JP Peterson show. That's not usually something that's going to heal in 4 or 5 days.
Says that's a no-go.
You got a no-go on him. So you're going with Havener, the Fresno State inexperienced
Jake
Haener.
We've been calling him Bill Hader all morning.
Right. Or
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler is there too. You take either one of those if you're the Buccaneers. So serious adversity for the Saints if that's the case on Sunday, and then we'll figure this out after the hurricane. They obviously are there, and then for those of us that are going to cover and be part of the game, that's later in the weekend before that happens. And I got so many people. I've been inundated because my alma mater Memphis is playing USF at Raymond James Stadium. So now it looks like that game is Saturday afternoon, but keep in mind it could move depending on if the storm is coming right through. And I don't know this answer. Maybe you know this answer and you found this out. The Bulls have to evacuate probably somewhere and try to practice, you would think. I
think they can practice. They're not in an evacuation zone at USF.
I don't know after
they
Wednesday.
The game to Saturday.
Right. I don't know if you're playing the game, don't you have to scramble and go somewhere to try to practice for Thursday and Friday if the game is still on? So I just wonder what's going to happen. I don't know. I just wonder what they're doing.
Their only chance is to hunker down. They have an indoor facility now. Hopefully it withstands the 125 mile an hour winds. I don't have as much hope for Tropicana Field. A direct hit with 125-mile-an-hour winds, that fabric roof. And they're like staging National Guard there. I'm like,
they
a good
have
idea?
They have line workers from Duke Energy and Tico that are staging there, and I guess they're going to do the best they can.
They're going to get under a fabric roof.
The Superdome didn't even withstand Katrina with the concrete roof, right?
Right. And there's flooding concerns around there.
Yeah.
The whole bit. So this is a mess looming. I just wonder. So the game currently, from what I saw, the reporting of Brett McMurphy, Pete Thamel, they put the game is now Saturday afternoon, Memphis
3:30
and USF at 3:30, but that is tentative. That could become a Saturday night game, and there is precedent, JP, for Sunday. The Gators 2 years ago played a Sunday game. They were supposed to play Eastern Washington on Saturday night. Hurricane Ian, remember, was coming ashore and maybe going to be through the middle of the state. So they moved the game to Sunday and played Sunday afternoon. So that has happened before. It's not ideal, but ESPN doesn't have the NFL on Sunday, and that game could still – I'm just saying a hypothetical here. I'm not reporting this. That game could be played Sunday if you had to, because the Bucs aren't here. Buccaneers aren't here. Right. So if that's the case, stay tuned. And by the way, you're in the Orlando area. The UCF Cincinnati game is also Saturday afternoon, and that could be in jeopardy of, does it move? Does it move to a later time? Does it move to Sunday? Because this thing, from everything we're seeing, is going to affect the middle of the state as well on Thursday. So who knows?
Yeah, the hurricane warnings it's going to be a hurricane all the way through the state of Florida. It probably hit, and it looks like, and I just saw Paul Delegato from Fox 13 said some of the models are jogging it to the south now, a slight turn to the south. So, but still means Orlando's getting it, we're all getting it. It's just a matter of degrees now and how bad it's going to be. And I do think, my guess is right now that USF, and it's a huge game. I mean, honestly, this is their season. They lose this, they're out of the AAC. You're not coming back from 2 conference losses, not this year, not with Army and Navy and everybody undefeated.
And Memphis, and to your point, Memphis has already lost to Navy. They can't afford a second loss because Navy and Army are undefeated right now.
Right.
And by the way, should I just go ahead and put it out here on the JP Peterson show? There is a Armageddon scenario where Army and Navy are on the verge of having clinched the championship game and will play the AAC title game the first Saturday in December before they play the Army-Navy game on the field the following week, which will have no bearing on the championship game. So that is a crazy
if I'm not mistaken,
scenario.
And if I'm not mistaken, before the Army-Navy game is played, they will announce the playoff.
It is after the championship games. That's correct.
Yeah, so
that's correct. But theoretically, again, the American game is not a neutral site. It's at one of their home fields, the higher seeded team. And I believe the neutral site game is in Baltimore the following week. I think it's Baltimore, but I may be wrong about
whoever wins the Army-Navy game is undefeated will make the playoff, and then they got to play the next week. Don't the playoffs start the next week?
No. Yeah, the playoffs would start the following week. So under this scenario, if Army and Navy win out, let's say, in the regular season, and they are the 2 teams to meet, they're going to meet in the AAC title game on December the 7th at whoever the higher seeded team, Annapolis or West Point. And then they're going to play the Army-Navy game the next week as well, which is even crazier as it relates to the playoff.
Since they do it at a home site anyway, could the AAC just say, "Hey guys, we're just going to make the Army-Navy game next week the championship game"?
You could do that. I don't know if they would do that, but it's a good point.
They won't. You know why? Because they lose the gate.
Right. Well, right.
2 games.
You get 2 games, and somebody takes a loss though, and a team could take 2 losses.
Right. Exactly.
In that scenario,
so if you're the AAC and you want to protect your champion, you just say, "Hey, we're going to declare our championship game is the Army-Navy game." Holy crap. How cool would that be?
It would be.
A spot in the playoff. And the playoff committee should say, okay, the winner of the Army-Navy game is the group of 5. Because they have to make that decision before the Army-Navy game on the 14th. How cool would that be if that's a playoff game?
Stay tuned. It's in play. It's in play for right now. And again, the Memphis South Florida game is pertinent because Memphis, I believe, still has Army coming up. And if they can continue to win and maybe beat Army, maybe they get a rematch with Navy later in the year. And Navy looks fantastic right now as well. They came to Air Force in the early start and drummed them. That's going to be fascinating.
They'll be here in October. Play USF.
Correct. So a lot of variables, a lot to still play out with the hurricane and what's going to happen and the college football. I realize sports is all secondary, but this is a welcome distraction right now for today and tomorrow. You were talking about hurricane stories and storms, and we've had to deal with this. Remember a couple of years ago, we were dealing with Hurricane Ian, and it unfortunately barreled through the bottom of the state, Fort Myers, Lee County, and all of that. And they may be about to get it again. But remember, the Buccaneers went and practiced over at Florida Atlantic at FAU, and then had the Chiefs Sunday night game back here in 2022 with Tom Brady, where you had a fumble on the opening kickoff, and it was kind of downhill from there with Patrick Mahomes and company. So we've had to be vigilant and watch these things, and we're having to do it again here in this instance with Milton.
Worst game weather-wise that you ever had to sideline? I did a Bucs preseason game. This is probably around 2006 or 7. And we had a lightning delay for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, we've had those.
In fact, I think you came and helped me. I was in the tunnel doing the
yes,
broadcast.
I do. I recall that.
You and I tap danced for about half an hour.
Let's talk to TJ here for 7 or 8 minutes.
TJ
if we can.
Got stories.
Go.
Get over here. I'm almost hoarse.
So I remember there was a similar one in August, probably 2017, 2016, something like that. RG3 was the Cleveland Browns quarterback at that point. This is after the Washington situation and his knee injury, and he bounced around with a couple of teams. And we played during the remnants of a tropical storm. And that was, I was waterlogged for 3 days. It was not lightning, but it was lots of rain, some wind, and we played the preseason game. And at some point you're looking around going, can we just run the clock? This game doesn't count. It doesn't matter. They've already collected the gate. We've already run the TV ads and the radio ads.
Right, exactly.
Get out of here. So yeah, there have been some different conditions weather-wise on this.
Did you? Oh, sorry.
Did I lose you there?
Yeah, sorry. That was I was looking up. I was looking up the 1997 Bucs Packers game in the divisional playoffs. I think I was not there for that one, but that was freezing cold, obviously, after they had won the wild card game in Green Bay, right? Sapp Favre mano a mano thing that Sapp had like 3.5 sacks in the game, and pressured him about 50 times, and Favre was running around, and really good game. But I think it was about single digits. That was the coldest game I think I've ever covered.
But you were toasty up in the press box enjoying your hot chocolate and whatever else was in the hot chocolate.
7 bratwurst that day. They give you free bratwurst.
I mean, that's different than the sideline guy being down in the elements. That's why
I'm down there sweating. People are like, why are you sweating? It's one of the guys. They got the meat sweats. I think I just had 7 bratwurst.
Because you had all the brat and all the cheese and all that. They got Timmy in the Green Bay press box, because I was at Lambeau in December when the Buccaneers won the game, and it was mild compared to what they normally have in December. It was
very mild. Yeah,
like 40 at kickoff, and the wind chill was like 37. That's a spring day for them. Yeah. But in the Lambeau press box, while we totally digress, they literally have the cheese bar for the brats and the pretzels with the different flavors of the cheeses. They have the cheese bar there just to load it all up.
Great.
So, good pork products, good cheese and dairy products.
I got a baseball question for you. You want to do some baseball?
Sure. Why not? Who's got
Michael Lou? We haven't talked about the Rays today. I wanted to talk about the Rays. So will
is
the
there
Rays
a reason
sign a hitter or two?
Or is there a glutton to talk about the Rays today?
And trade for major league catcher. I just had to get this in because like Michael LaRue, sign a hitter or two and get a major league catcher. Chances of that are about as good as
not getting wet this weekend.
Missing us. Yes.
The chances of not getting wet this week.
No freaking way. They're doing nothing. They have a $700 million mortgage now. They're going to complain about. So.
Should I float this out there on the JP Peterson show? I'm not reporting this, and I don't rumor monger, but I've had more than one person say to me that there's already grumblings. There's already some angst that Stu Sternberg isn't going to live up to his end of what he has to put up for the stadium because he doesn't have it. I don't know what the truth is. I do know they walked away from the Ebor deal because they didn't want to pay whatever they were supposed to pay.
Right.
So I don't know what the truth is, but there are grumblings about that. Who knows? Who knows in this offseason? And we do know this. They auctioned off to the best deals and the highest bidder all of their contracts for next year, including Eflin, the pitcher, including Randy Arozarena. I don't know if was Paredes still signed for next year. I don't know.
The people who made such a big deal about this $96 million payroll, and you know who you are out there and how the Rays were spending money.
Right.
Well, they ended up, spending about $65 million on payroll because they got rid of all those guys.
And they lopped off, what did we establish? 25, 30 million or more on the books for next year already.
Yeah, they're at 45 million to start next year. And so they've got plenty of leeway and to sign. If they wanted to sign 2 hitters and get a major league catcher, they could easily afford it. And he's got money. He's got tons of money. Right. He just doesn't want to spend it.
All right.
And that's why I said this thing will never get built. And after this weekend, and listen, seriously speaking, after this weekend, what St. Pete's about to go through in Pinellas County, and they're going to look at all the money that they're going to have to spend on stormwater drainage. There's already $600 million plan on the books that they don't know how to pay for. And after the damage that happens this weekend, all that hotel money is probably going to need to go to some of these hotels directly to survive. And that's what fuels the economy.
Sure.
So they're going to be looking at this $1.6 billion that they're going to spend on this stadium and say, are we really going to spend this money now with all we have to do to save the citizens? This is why that deal was such a stupid deal. Don't
hold your breath on FEMA helping bail all of it out financially and otherwise.
Well, they told us
I know we got to go.
Yeah, they're out of money anyway.
I know we got to go in a moment or two. I'm curious how the baseball ratings are stacking up with the NFL. We haven't seen it yet, but like the Yankees were playing last night while the Chiefs-Saints game was going on. I wonder. I mean, certainly in the West and in Los Angeles, they care about Ohtani and the Dodgers against the Padres. If you're in the upper Midwest, you care about Cleveland and Detroit playing each other, or the Phillies and the Mets in the Northeast.
Feels very regional.
How much does it resonate all over the rest of the country? I don't know.
I mean, I'm a stupid baseball fan anyway, and I could be literally 4, 6, 8 teams that I absolutely hate, and I'm going to watch anyway.
Right.
I'm kind of pulling for the Royals.
How about they get the win last night, so that guarantees a game 4, and they're back home in Kansas City. And
by the way, Patrick Mahomes, part owner of the Royals.
How about that? So he's rolling along with the Chiefs, although I know you got to go here in a second. The Chiefs look vulnerable. The Chiefs are winning, but they look vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
And some of it
I saw last night were 2 teams that the Bucs can beat. Not 2. I mean, they should win this week against the Saints.
You're going to get a crack at both of them. You're going to get a crack at one of them this week and one of them in another month on Monday Night Football. So,
are you going to be a guest on my pregame show for both of those?
Whatever you need.
I'm doing a Ravens pregame and I'm doing a Kansas City pregame. So
we will make magic. We will make magic on those shows. Whatever you need. It is a long season. I'm with you. There were encouraging things. You had that game in Atlanta. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You had it won 3 times with the blocked field goal, with Bucky Irving getting the first down before the fumble, and then he fumbles. And then Levante David's interception. You had the game won 3 times the other night. Just take it for what it's worth. You had some positive things, and it's a long season. You've now got still 12 more games to go, and a lot of them are high profile. And in closing, again, everybody just be safe. Everybody be safe. I mean, if this thing is coming right at us, as Tuesday afternoon becomes Tuesday night, take it seriously. And the storm surge and the flooding that's going to be on Thursday, that's the other crazy part of this.
That's not survivable. Get out.
Correct. Everybody be safe. And I hope to be back with you soon, including after this Saints game later in the week.
Yes.
And we'll go from there.
We'll see you Tuesday.
All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, Brian.
The great TJ Reeves at Bucs Sideline Guy on the X machine. So that was fun. That shows go so fast on Tuesday. They really do.
I always go fast. It's already noon. Yeah. Holy crap.
Thomas Casper says that's an absolute fact about Stu Sternberg sandbagging his cash. The Hurricanes will require a new negotiation.
May require a new stadium too.
Yeah. Build my mega stadium. Build the mega stadium at the fairgrounds.
With what'd you call it? With
the casino superstructure in the middle.
Right.
Football stadium on one side, baseball stadium on the other.
The movable
the sliding roof. Sliding roof. No, not a tarp.
Oh, we're not doing
not a drone tarp. That's my other brilliant idea.
That's what I was thinking.
Raymond James. No, not the drone tarp. This is the dual stadium, sliding roof, superstructure in the middle, casino, all the restaurants and bars that serve both.
Well, what about when
parking lot the same, all the, so then you have concerts. The baseball stadium also acts as an amphitheater as you open up the roof. Okay, so you have the amphitheater / baseball stadium / football stadium / soccer stadium / whatever you need.
A soccer stadium.
Well, yeah, you could play World Cup games there, whatever you want to do. And it's right there at the fairgrounds, and it's accessible to Orlando and Tampa. Oh my God!
I have a question. Mr. Peterson,
home run and a grand
question.
That means national championship games, playoff games. That means more Super Bowls, more Taylor Swift concerts, everything.
So what do we do then with the roof on a Monday night in September when the Bucs are playing and the Rays are in the playoffs?
Oh, this is easy. Once again, it's easy. It's a double. Roof? It's a double. Different game times, bro.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, of course they are. You have the baseball in the afternoon
on a Monday.
Yes, we have afternoon baseball games.
Not if it's a World Series.
Yes, we have afternoon games.
It won't be in September anyway. So all right. What about October?
October, if you look, they're not going to put a baseball game on the same night as Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Duh.
That'd be a good problem to have, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they'll work it, but you could do it on the same day.
I mean, we've had that issue here in Arlington with the Cowboys on Sundays, and then when the Rangers were on their run, having a Sunday game at the same time because they share.
Well, imagine if you will, if you had the afternoon baseball game, right? So you park your car at noon. Right, or whatever, tailgate at the same place. You go into the baseball game, watch the World Series or playoff game, right? And then an hour and a half, you leave that hour and a half later, you go to the casino, hang out at the casino for an hour, and then you walk right over to the baseball.
Drunk.
Yeah, go to the football stadium. It's the same place.
So
same place, and the roof moves with you.
You don't think they'd make you pay parking twice? They're going to want parking for both games.
It's a double parking. If you're going, well, you got to pay for a ticket for both games.
Okay, you got to pay $140 for parking for both.
Yeah,
games.
You got to pay for both games. It's a separate ticket. Right. It's a separate stadium. So this idea is impregnable.
Right. Then why aren't we doing it? Let's just make it under the FanStream Sports umbrella. We'll just start doing this thing.
I don't have $5 billion to do it.
All right, look, I know.
By the way, you could build this for $2.5 billion. You could build this for half of what you paid for SoFi Stadium.
Jerry Jones lives 20 miles south of me right now. I will talk to his real estate people.
In terms of funding, you don't need 2 parking lots. You don't need 2 superstructure. You don't need 2 entertainment villages. You don't need 2 casinos. You don't need a casino, but you could put it in there. It's sports book, by the way.
Sure.
For both. So you could have, the same everything shared structure in terms of cost.
Right.
But it's so economical because so much of it is you're not duplicating that you don't need to duplicate. It's a brilliant idea.
By the way, just announced yesterday, as if we don't already have enough happening in the city of Arlington with the Cowboys, with the Rangers, with our Texas Live entertainment facility there, all the hotels. IndyCar's coming to Arlington in 2026, JP.
Well, I saw that. Yeah.
They're going to have a track that goes around Globe Life Field, around Cowboys AT&T Stadium. And dude, I'm already emailing IndyCar. Where's my press credentials? I want them now.
Are you going to have a fake marina like they have in Miami? Fake marina?
That is so funny. I don't know what they're going to do. I doubt they'll do something that idiotic. We're not near water, but okay.
Build a lake.
I want to see him go through AT&T Stadium. I want inside the stadium to be part of the track, but it won't be. That'd be great.
Cool would that be?
Huh?
How cool would that be?
That would be awesome, dude. You got
100,000 people in there.
Put people in the stands, yeah.
Do a little hairpin turn in there.
Yes.
They got to go back out.
I don't know if 100,000 people watching IndyCar anyway, but
what? Yeah, well, you know what? By the way, at the at the Hard Rock Field, as Tom, of course, it would be called Hard Rock. It'd be right across from the Hard Rock, and they'd pay for the whole damn thing.
They'd have to, yeah.
And they would too. They wouldn't care. Like, we get a sports book in there. We get a casino. We get to build a real casino in there.
All the bars and restaurants.
Yeah, they don't have the room to do what they really want to do over on that side. Yeah, and you can just grant the land. It's public land already. It's state land, and grant it to the Seminole Indians, right? It's part of your new $500 million a year payment. There's so many advantages to doing it, because you wouldn't have to pay for the land. You wouldn't have to pay. You have a whole lot of public money, because the Hard Rock would finance the whole damn thing and buy the Rays while they're at it. Yeah, it's such a home run, and on so many levels. You need a new football stadium, or you're thinking about building a new football stadium. I mean, this would be just, and and then you're relocating the baseball stadium to an obvious place where it needs to be, and serving the two markets, Orlando and Tampa. If you're having it at the fairgrounds, when you're going to have Brightline going right down I-4, that will be an express from Orlando area, the 18th largest market, right into Hard Rock Field.
Right.
And it can't be field. It's got to be something bigger than field.
Can't be stadium. They already have that.
Stadium. Can't be arena. Hard Rock World. It's a world.
Hard Rock
Jerry World.
World
Hard Rock World.
Jerry World's not an official name. We call it the Death Star here in town.
Yeah. It could be the Death Star. It would look like a Death Star.
Death Star. God, that'd be awesome.
That would be, like just a, freaking.
I might move to Tampa for that.
Yeah. And you put huge hotels around it, condos, residences. I mean,
that's what we have here in Arlington, but it's not a casino because we don't have gambling here. But we have.
Thomas says they already have a Hard Rock Stadium, so it wouldn't be that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Hard Rock
Miami,
World,
right?
The Hard Rock World.
But we have the big Texas Live that's like 8 bars and restaurants, and they have a huge common area. There's like 3 stories.
This would put everything else. Everything else would be the JV if we did this.
Yeah,
it would be because you think about a facility like this. If you had a championship game, say you had a Super Bowl, right? You could fill the stadium, the football stadium, and the baseball stadium. You could literally sell 130,000 tickets, because you would have a secondary. You would be, quote, at the Super Bowl in the casino. The whole damn facility would turn into 2 stadiums. Where you put huge screens up in the baseball stadium like you're watching the game, and hell, you can have the players come through the baseball stadium before the game and run through it or whatever you want to do, or warm up over there, right? The kickers or whoever could come out, and you could be watching part of the game. It'd be like an auxiliary seat.
Build a little monorail that goes between the 2 facilities for the players.
Where we're going with this, my God. The things we could do.
Screw you, Disney World.
Yeah, Hard Rock World, Tampa Bay. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? We're going to build some rinky-dink ass baseball stadium over in St. Petersburg. It's going to be a rinky-dink ass $2 billion or $1.6 billion. It's going to be a rinky-dink ass stadium, over there where nobody's going to go to it. Or we're going to build Hard Rock World. Hard Rock World.
And there's going to be 3 O's in the word world, because it's not going to be Hard Rock World. It's going to be Hard Rock World.
Hard Rock. It's 2 O's and 2 O's on each side. Hard Rock World.
Did we just become real estate moguls?
And then we did. And then we're like going way over. We're losing our minds here. Yeah, I mean, and then you're away from hurricane on the coast from storm surge.
Yeah.
I mean, just think of what you could do with this thing. The events the national championship game, you could sell tickets to both stadiums. The whole thing just becomes a whole, bars, the restaurants, the casino, everything just becomes part of it. And you got hotels there. There's so much land there. You can build 2 major hotels there. You can, you could build. I mean, there's so much you could do on that, and so perfect for what you need a football stadium or an updated. You're going to spend probably $1 billion on that. You're spending $1.2 billion on this rinky-dink baseball stadium in the wrong area. Shut it all down. Do it all out at the fairgrounds. Modern transportation coming in, mass transportation coming in from Orlando. You're serving the entire I-4 corridor with this humongous freaking Death Star of a stadium. Hard Rock World. I mean, it's got everything you need.
Too bad we can't get James Earl Jones to do the voiceover for this.
Right. Well, we can AI that too.
We can. You can do anything.
We can AI the shit out of that. Yeah. There's nothing. There is nothing that's not brilliant about this entire idea.
Let's see if Johnny can get this funded. We'll just do it ourselves.
I know some people at the Hard Rock that would. Yeah.
We'll just buy the damn team.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. The Hard Rock people would buy the.
Yeah,
by
the naming rights.
Someone associated with the Hard Rock people.
Right. There you go.
We've already made an offer on the Rays.
Right.
Yeah. So there's still time to save it. You could blame the renegotiation on the hurricane.
There you go.
Like TJ says, Stu probably doesn't. He don't want to spend the money. He has the money. He don't want to spend it. But this changes a lot of the dynamic. But this changes. 2 hurricanes in a row that submerge Pinellas County. Changes the dynamics and
sure.
And it should change. I mean, the mayor should, put his ego aside and say, you know what, maybe we don't need to spend $1.6 billion of public money on a stadium that nobody's going to come to.
Yeah,
maybe we have some bigger needs in this state in this city, in this county. Duh. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, that's enough. That's enough shenanigans for today. Edit that one up, buddy.
Today.
Yeah, this is a 2.5 hour. What did we? Tucker Carlson? Jesus Christ. There's your 2 hour and 12-minute podcast. Listen,
right.
You guys stay safe.
We don't give you nothing.
You don't need me to say stay safe. Just stay smart. Be smart. Have a plan. Talk to your neighbors. Get help. All right, do that. Thanks to Scott Reynolds, who was fabulous today. And evidently Tim was fabulous today. Scott was all over your jock today. That was fantastic.
Hey, it's good to be loved every once in a while.
You need it. You do need it.
I do need it. Stroke my ego.
Yes. All right. A stroke of a check. You'd rather have that. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Be smart. We love you. I'm going to try to do a show tomorrow. I don't know. Pete's off tomorrow. I may try to hunker down and do a show for you cats tomorrow just to get some hurricane stuff out there if I still have power and you guys don't. Tomorrow won't be too bad. So we'll probably get a show in tomorrow. Thursday's TG. We'll see. TBA. We'll see. Have a great day, everybody.